Hello! You don't know who I am, but today we're going to go over 5 games which were pretty much critically panned and fan panned as well, but that I found enjoyable. Now, it's really easy to put hate onto a video game or any other type of media, but you know what? Some of those aren't quite so bad. So let's take a look at 5 of the games that have received a lot of hate, which I think were not too terrible. I mean, maybe they were terrible, but in a way, they at least brought me some type of entertainment and maybe some joy, right? You gotta give the benefit of the doubt to the developers and all the programmers and artists and sound engineers, everybody involved with that. Hopefully the majority of them were actually trying to deliver an entertaining product which maybe wasn't going to revolutionize the gaming world, but they just wanted somebody to hopefully be able to enjoy and have fun with their finished concept and ideas. Let's take a minute to let me tell you maybe some warnings. I may be telling people about some games which you definitely vehemently hate and dislike, which I found enjoyment with. So, you know, trigger warning there. Sorry for that, but hopefully you'll bear with me through all this. Just so you know a little bit more about me, even though you don't know me, I do tend to like things that are on the perceived bad or not great quality side. You know, I'll really enjoy some bad video games, definitely bad movies. Those are some of the best things, and bad music, right? I'm just things that definitely don't flow with the normal or people just disregard. I enjoy it. There's some type of great entertainment value there. And somebody's, like I said earlier, just there's some love for art and craft that whoever was doing that was doing it for some reason, whether it be to be cheesy or silly or to actually be trying to do something for real and serious. And it just didn't come across that way. But it's how I maybe how I can kind of explain why I gravitate and like that stuff. So if you're still here, here's game number 1. Machine Hunter for the PlayStation 1. You see right here, playing in the background. Now this, even though you can see it's got a gold rating from PS Extreme magazine from back in the day, not very many people thought that this was worthy of any type of a gold rating, let alone silver rating. This is which was described back then, you know, as a kind of a poor man's Loaded or Reloaded. It's a, you know, one of the early top-down twin stick shooters, like Smash TV as well. But within this one, you are jumping from machine to machine. You're kind of not really, you're kind of like possessing them, I guess, or controlling them. And so you get to control many different machines, some bug-like, some tank-like, or little things like that, which are all things that I heavily really enjoy and love. So that's why I gravitated towards this. And it just turned out to be a really fun twin-stick shooter game. You know, like I said, it's got some great big levels in it. The controls are, of course, they're still trying to figure out the best way for these games to control, so they can be a little challenging at times. You're in the center of the screen, as you can see there. Other ways, so you're hoping for whatever is off screen as it coming your way, or you're shooting at things, or just like how you had to do in Loaded and Reloaded, that stuff. But this definitely be on the lookout for this for your PlayStation. It's got to be next to super cheap. So Machine Hunter right there. Okay, and for game number 2, we're going to go to the Nintendo DS, and we're going to bring up Warhammer 40K Squad Command. Now, I don't know why anybody would say anything disparaging about a 40K game. Warhammer 40K, as we all know, is one of the most beloved, one of the best franchises for tabletop, for computer games, for console games, for all the video games. It is a great setting. Space Marine, 40K, so good. Now, I understand why this one can be. I understand why this one did get some not stellar reviews. I mean, the DS wasn't known as a powerhouse for its graphics, and it's definitely graphically this is challenged, but gameplay and game-wise, this is a complete enjoyment. If you like squad-based tactical gameplay, which who doesn't? Is there somebody who doesn't like that? This is great. This is great to have for on the go, and it's one I play quite often, over and over again. Not that I'm any good at it, but most of my Space Marines may end up as fodder, but they died for the greater good, right? And for game number 3, as you can see up on the monitor there on the screen, Aliens, Colonial Marines. That's right. Now, that may have just caused a lot of people to leave, but that's okay. Hear me out. I'm not saying this is a good game, because as we know, it is not a good game. But it was fun. It made me feel like I was back on LV 426 during Aliens, during that time frame, during that film. This brings back all that atmosphere, all the sounds, all the sights. Even though this story's a mess, it's got characters in here that make no sense. It's got gameplay that is very questionable. It's Aliens. We all love the Alien games. Sure, things have changed with the movies. We can definitely talk about that otherwise. But when it comes to the games, it's one of those I'm always a sucker for, giving a try and jumping into. And yeah, I can understand it. If I would have bought this at full price, I would have been maybe a little upset. But this is one I was lucky enough to get pretty quick, very cheap, because as you know, it was here, and when it released, then it just crashed because everybody was just up in arms about how it was shown this way and it turned out that way. And it's like, oh my gosh, it's a whole thing. There's many other YouTubes probably all about that out there if you want to watch that. But what I can say, this, for what it was, and you can get this nice and cheap now on whatever system you're playing for, it was fun. I'd do it again. I'd play through it again. Actually, I did play through it a second time, and that time was even more fun because this has a couch co-op, split screen co-op. So that makes the experience, that can make the experience that much funner, and it did. It was great when we did that. But like I said, I know it's not the greatest thing, but the campaign was serviceable. You got the correct sounds, you got the correct layout of the LV 426. You got some great atmosphere, like I said. You got really cool looking levels. But then you got horrible AI and all that other stuff that was terrible. But in the end, if you can find it for next to nothing, which it always will be at, and you want to give it a try, I say go for it. Now for game number 4. Okay, I'm going to show this to you. Okay? Don't leave, but here you go. Castlevania Judgment. Yes, that's right. This I found enjoyable. I don't know what else to say. What were we expecting? It's a Castlevania Judgment. It's just a Castlevania fighting game, right? A Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Soul Calibur, Dead or Alive. It's just a fighting game, one-on-one with all of our favorite Castlevania characters. And they have all been massively reworked, as in terms of visuals and flair and abilities, and in some cases even weapons. So that's 3 triggers right there. Just boom, boom, boom. That's 3 strikes, you're out. I totally understand why people were really throwing shade on this and why this was really being just thrown to the ground and tossed aside. But in the end, I found this an enjoyable take on the characters. Whether they consider this canon for the story, whatever. That doesn't bother me. I'm not worried about the overall universe stuff or how they even tied all these characters together. I was just cool to see the characters in here together. I liked seeing the new designs, whether I agreed with them or not. It's fun to see a new take on some things, and this definitely had that in spades because everything was different. It was a lot of fun. This one was a lot of fun. It had some cool little adventure mode in it as well to go through, and with the character you can do and go to these different rooms and you kind of choose your own pathway through stuff. But in the end, I know you can, well, I think you can find this pretty darn dirt cheap, but who knows, maybe this didn't sell well enough and now it is considered hard to find. But I mean, if you want to buy something on the download, not let anybody know about it, and play it without anybody seeing, well, I'd go for this one. Give it a shot. And for game number 5, I bring you PlayStation 2 Extermination. Yes, this case has seen a better days. I did buy this used way back in the day, so I should clean it up at some point. But here we go, Extermination. This is a heck of a game. I'm pretty sure you don't know about it, because I don't know if anybody knows about this, but why this is great is because this is The Thing meets Aliens, meets Resident Evil, meets Metal Gear Solid, just as a giant mess combined, and boom, and here you have it. And it's quite an adventure. It's quite a survival horror. It's definitely one to be on the lookout for. It's even got a beautiful full color manual. You don't find those that much anymore, right? No, but we still did back in the PlayStation 2 day. I see, just simple. I mean, it looks simple, right? But it took time, it took effort, it took money, and it turned out very nice. And I thank Sony during the PlayStation 2 era, for giving us still nice manuals. Now, a while ago, I don't know if I mentioned this in one of our pickup videos or not, but I did finally get the strategy guide for the game. Now, what's cool about that is I never played it with a strategy guide. The first time I did the game was a blind playthrough and just stumbling through and constantly redoing things and saves all over the place, figuring stuff out what to do. So I may need to break down and revisit the game and use the strategy manual, because I'm sure there's quite a bit that I missed, and it would be fun just to go through and play this game again, because Extermination, if you don't have it, I get it. For the PlayStation 2, it's great. It's wonderful. That one I'm going over a little overboard about, because this was more than enjoyable to me. This one is one of my PS2 favorites, it turned out, even though it was, like I said, canned and nobody liked it, because, right, you had all the awesome Resident Evils at the time and all this other stuff, and Metal Gear Solids, of course, Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 coming out. It was just crazy time, so this definitely kind of got pushed to the back end. But now, with enough years between us, you can go back and see that, yeah, this is a good game. A very good game. Okay, thank you for watching. I'm glad you're able to sit through these 5 games, which I know were critically panned and not very well liked, which I had a chance to enjoy and do recommend. I mean, even if you have to, like I said, even if you have to do it on the down low and not let anybody know you're playing them, they're definitely worth it. Now, I know in my backlog and in my collection, I've got plenty more games that have questionable quality, and maybe I should dive into those and pick another few to play for a bit, and then get back to you and let you know what I think about them. Anyways, again, thanks for watching. And as always, game on!